Meg Bussett, who was on there, said this is going to cost me £150 a month. It's a huge chunk out of my family's finances. There are very many similar comments, and there's a lot of fury on that side.
Can we have a brief question?
How has the CSR affected your way of life and people in the kind of income bracket? I mean, we read today you've just approved the salary, this £8.3 million pay package for the new Lloyds boss. How is it going to affect your way of life? I mean, the PM says it's going to affect all our way of life. Those women are very clear it's affecting their way of life. How is it going to affect your way of life?
Well, to put it in its simplest, I lose my child benefit, or rather my wife does.
You're claiming child benefit?
Yes, of course. But because I've got 2 children. But like everyone else who's a high rate taxpayer, from 2013 onwards, you do one...
And that's going to affect your way of life, is it, Chancellor?
Well, I've noticed in these encounters that you often play the man, not the ball. I would make this broader point.
Well, I'm just asking you a question.
I make this broader point. Right? There is an enormous budget deficit that I inherited. And I've read your questions to Andrew Turnbull, and you seem to be under a misapprehension that somehow delaying it or taking longer would mean that you could avoid these difficult decisions. You can't. This is a structural deficit. It doesn't go away when the economy grows. And if we don't do this child benefit measure, which you are perfectly entitled to disagree with and vote against, that is £2.5 billion that you have to find somewhere else. Now, be my guest. Come up with some alternative proposals. But frankly, until you've got alternative proposals...
As I've said before, you're here to give evidence to us. I'm not giving you alternatives. You're here to answer our questions.
Well, I know I'm very aware you're not giving me alternatives, because I've been asking for months.
The national debt that we have is at the highest in our history.
Well, it is in cash terms, but as I said...
As a percentage of GDP.
Well, I think that was your first question that I answered.
Is it the highest in your lifetime?
Well, it is... no doubt you're about to tell me.
I'm asking.
I suspect you wouldn't have asked the question if you were...
You're the Chancellor, not I. Let me give you 6 countries. Italy, France... You write them down if you want. Italy, France, Germany, Japan, the United States and the United Kingdom. Of those 6, which has got the lowest national debt today?
Well, what I would point out...
So it's a simple question. Which of those 6 has got the lowest national debt today as a percentage of GDP?
Well, as I say, Mr. Mann, the answer is the UK.
The answer is the United Kingdom.
But I think...
in 4 years' time, on the current projections, which will have the lowest?
Germany.
Let me ask you the consequences of you overstating the case with your budget. Your officials said that there will be families who will have to lose their homes and move. How many children, as a result of what you are doing, will have to lose their homes and move?
Well, no one should be without housing when we are paying...
No, but how many will have to move? How many children will have to move?
As I say, we know the numbers of households affected by the benefit cap, the household benefit cap, right? 21,000, 17,000 at the minimum. But, as I say, they are going to get up to £20,000 a year in housing benefit.
Will homelessness increase or decrease as a result of your comprehensive spending review?
Let me just remind you, Mr. Mann, of what the Labour manifesto says.
I'm asking you. You're trying to change.
Hold on.
Will homelessness increase or decrease?
I'm not making a forecast.
You're not making a forecast on homelessness.
What I'm saying to you is that...
Will there be fewer full-time police officers? Will there be...
John, can we now have
I'm trying to get some answer. I don't know what the Labour Party policy is on manifesto. I want to know, will there be more homelessness? I want to know, will there be reductions in full-time police officers?
John, what I'd now like to hear is the reply.
On police numbers, both the Labour Party and the Conservative Party and the Liberal Democrats have accepted that there will be fewer police numbers. This was conceded by the Labour Party before the general election. What we want to do is maintain the visibility and availability of policing on the front line.
Will there be any reduction in special needs provision for children in mainstream schools as a result of your budget?
Well, special needs education, and we are looking at this and the role of special schools. So you've asked a very specific question which frankly goes to special needs education policy, not the budget of special education needs. That is a matter obviously for the relevant minister, but we are looking at the appropriate balance between special needs schools
Well,
and
I'm
provision
asking
in the mainstream.
funding for.
I have one last question.
Well, no, but there's the Chancellor's.
Please.
Chancellor's got all day. He's already told me, and I just want to know about the implications of his cuts.
You haven't got
Well,
a
with the greatest respect,
Will there be fewer fire stations in the country?
With the greatest respect, Mr. Mann,
Well, will there be fewer fire
I would say that we both need to take responsibility for the difficult decisions, since you voted for the various budgets that led to the 11% budget deficit.
Will there be?
Right.
No, I'm sorry, Chair, but
Right.
we're not getting
John,
answers from him.
I'm bringing. I am bringing these exchanges.
Yeah,
to a
we're not
close.
getting. We've not yet had an answer on whether or not these reductions
The public
are
will
going to
have
happen.
noted the exchanges between you.
Yeah, but we're here to get answers.
Well, I think I
David
can give
Rutley.
you various answers.